going on, everybody? Here we are, Sunday, February 10th. I don't like saying it straight out of the gate, but, this is not the best Sunday slate we've ever had. Times are all mixed up. 3-game main slate, 5 games for the whole slate. Not necessarily the most appealing games in the world, but we're here. We'll dive in. We'll take a look at everything. I hope you had your Joe Noah shares last night. Clearly was going to play 30-plus minutes after being dinged up with injuries for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Whatever. I've moved some stuff around in my office, and I've readjusted all of my monitors, so now I'm a little bit more straight on the camera, but instead of having a monitor to my right, which would have been normally me looking like this, I have one to my left now, which at least makes me look back at the spreadsheet that's on the screen. But it's going to take some getting used to because everything is in a different place than it used to be. That's great, legend. Well, I hope we agree then. I hope we agree. I'm just going to talk about all 5 games. Going to look at them in one big group. There's not a lot to glean. I did go through each rotation for every team this morning and, make sure I liked my minutes projection. So I've actually been looking at this for way longer than I would have expected. I'll give everybody another minute or two to trickle in since it is, Sunday morning. I'm a little tired. But I'm excited to do a show. It should be fun. Wife is on her way home today from Aruba, so I'm getting back to normal life, but I still got my beach background. I need to put a new background in there. I don't know what I want to use. Last night was fine, up a little bit. Nothing crazy. If I moved some lineups around in different tournaments, like it could have caught differently, but that's what happens when you play a bunch of lineups over across a bunch of tournaments. The party got the best of Josh last night. No party. I was home alone watching TV. Played a lot of Red Dead, slowly getting to the end. Couple plugs. NBA Strategy promo code, 50% off your first monthly package. We've gotten a couple people contacting us that actually tried to pick up annual subs and using the code, and they were failing. I'm making sure that's not a text message. The promo code will only work on monthly packages, so it won't give you like 50% off a month and then give you the rest of the annual package. So if you're trying to buy an annual package, we're really happy. Please do that. Unfortunately, that promo code will not work, but it will work for monthly packages. So if you're looking to check it out, NBA Strategy is the promo code for 50% off. And then on February 13th, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. I'll be celebrating my birthday the day before that, neither here nor there. But we're going to give away a premium all-access annual package for our 1-year anniversary. This is going to be very similar to our Christmas promotion. So if you can like this video and comment some of your favorite plays and fades for today, and there should be some good ones, you have an opportunity to win. You get entered into the drawing, and we will give that away on the final Live Before Lock before we head to the All-Star break. An All-Star break that I am looking forward to very, very much. A lot of people cry about the videos being late. Josh is usually early. I'm right on time every time, man. Don't want to throw Adam under the bus, but he'll never hear this. So, yeah, it's mostly just Adam. Guys, I could have started this video at like 6:30 in the morning. I get up at the ass crack of dawn. I'm an early bird. The rest of our team's more of late night guys. I just can't do it. It's probably in my best interest to move to the West Coast at some point in time. Can the Heat win? Can the Heat beat the Warriors? Of course they can beat the Warriors. You turn 43 on the 12th. Abe Lincoln rules. Abe Lincoln does rule. I've enjoyed having Abe Lincoln be my dude for my entire life. I turned 34, so I enjoy the symmetry of those flip-flopped numbers. Donovan Stockton, what's the likelihood that Trey Burke gets more minutes than Luka again? I assume very low. However, if Trey Burke does get minutes, and I do have him in for minutes today, a little scary because he grades out. He needs to be played on DK. Oh, I expect the Heat to lose. Let's be clear here. However, what is it, like 80-20 or something like that? Alrighty. We got everybody, trickling in. Let's get started. Let me hop over here. Let's move these windows around. All right, here we go. First game up. Actually, I gotta see if these lines have been updated. I had to make up a couple this morning. They are. Portland is a 3-point line. I had it at 1, 219.5. Close enough. Hey, Dingo. Go lay down, buddy. And then Suns -9, 227. Ooh, almost nailed that one. Close enough. All right. Now we'll do it. The Portland Trail Blazers. Nope. The Dallas Mavericks hosting the Portland Trail Blazers. 108.25 implied total for the Mavs. 111.25 for the Blazers. Here we go. New look Mavs. Tim Hardaway, Trey Burke. That was an interesting squad now. Let's hop over to Dallas here in the minutes table. The dogs are all screwing with each other on the couch now. Yeah, I think Trey Burke is going to get some run here, and that needs to be paid attention to. Hold on, I got to yell at my dog. Hey, he's trying not to scratch through my couch, man. Lay down. Craziness. Everybody thinks they can do whatever they want on a Sunday. What's up, everybody? Saying what up to everybody in Slack chat, everybody in YouTube chat. It's a good crew on Sunday morning. Look, we'll start with Luka. 9,800 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DK, $45 on Yahoo. I'm having a lot of trouble getting to him in bulk lately. The rates that I use for him are just they're just not corresponding with his fantasy production. I think he's on a little bit of a heater. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have some. I'll probably, especially on a 2-game slate, it's not like you get away from that. He looks fine. He's not a priority to me. But he's, a fantastic basketball player. Uh-oh. Maybe I shouldn't have started this show. I hear the garage door going up, which means the wife just made it home. She's going to be in for a rude awakening because she's not going to get any interaction for about an hour. Hey, boys. Let the dogs know. They're going to scamper out of here. Hey, boys, mom's home. Go get her. Who's here? Yeah, go get her. Who's here, boys? Go get her. Go get her. Downstairs, boys. I love these dogs. Alrighty. Sorry, guys. We got to talk about Trey Burke. 5,200 on FanDuel, 3,700 on DK. Hold on one second, guys. Amazing timing. All right, here we go. Yeah, so I've got Trey Burke in for 24 minutes right now. And if he plays 24 minutes, you need to pay attention to him on DK, especially on a short slate like this. I mean, he is like a massive, massive value if he really does get 24 minutes. Anything over 20, really. So on FanDuel, you don't have to worry about it too much, but that $3,700 price tag on DraftKings needs to be watched. So keep an eye on it. If we get any weird like news that this lineup is going to work out differently, I'll adjust accordingly. But for right now, Trey Burke is going to be a big piece of my early lineups. After that, I think Maxey, Hardaway, DFS are in play. These guys all look a lot better on DraftKings than they do on FanDuel. Trey Burke, I think, looks okay on Yahoo for $11. Nobody that I really prioritize here, though. So get your shares of Luka in, obviously, and then Trey Burke on DraftKings is the piece you want the most. Let's see, what do we got going on in chat? Thanks, Dante. Okay, we'll take a look at the Portland side now. Dame Lillard, 10K on FanDuel, 8,800 on DK, $39 on Yahoo. Yusuf Nurkic, 8,700 on FanDuel, 7,700 on DK, $30 on Yahoo. Yusuf Nurkic is the piece of Portland that I want the most. He's just too talented, I think, for Dwight Powell and everything that Dallas is going to run out at center. So Nurkic, one of my favorite plays. Doesn't matter what site, FanDuel, DK, Yahoo. He's great across the board. I think CJ looks okay at 7,500 and 6,800 on DraftKings. Been playing a little bit better. I probably have him slightly under projected here, and he's still coming up as a decent value for me. Don't really love him at the $29 price tag on Yahoo. But I think that you could use CJ without any issue on FanDuel or DK. I prefer Lillard to CJ, but I prefer Nurkic massively more than him. I like Nurkic more than I like anything else in this game, outside of a Trey Burke value play on DK. And then from there, man, the minutes here are really, really tricky. I don't know what they're doing with Zach Collins now. He's basically out of the rotation. Managing. I don't know what's up with Aminu, only playing like 20 minutes and change now. So based on the rotations that I put in, I think that Jake Layman looks pretty good at 3,900 as another punt play on DraftKings. He's okay on FanDuel at 4,700. And then I think Rodney Hood is at least someone to take a peek at. Again, this is a short slate, so you kind of got to go dumpster diving. I think Layman and Hood can both be played, both on DraftKings. They're a little bit less appealing on FanDuel. After that, I don't want any part of Portland. So Nurkic, Lillard, McCollum is the order for me. Nurkic pretty significantly ahead of Lillard, and then Lillard not pretty significantly, but firmly ahead of CJ. I like all three of those. Well, I'd rather have Dame compared to Luka on FanDuel. I would definitely rather have Dame at 8,800 compared to 9,200 Luka on DraftKings. I would rather have Luka over CJ, though, if we're comparing that side. Let's get out of this game. We'll move to Philly. 76ers hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Massive pace up spot here. 120.5 implied total for the Sixers. 113.5 for the Lakers. This is a fantastic DFS game. It would be even better if we had any idea how Philly is going to shake out. I just don't know what to do with these guys. I don't know how to project them. Their rates are up in the air. So we'll talk about them in a group of four. Embiid, Simmons, Butler, Tobias Harris. I have them all playing 34 minutes. There's clearly wiggle room there. If you're trying to use my projections and you think that the minutes are going to be a little bit different, make adjustments for yourself. I just don't have any confidence yet in seeing how these rotations work out. I'm happy with the rotations that I have projected. I don't necessarily have a lot of confidence. Look at all those even numbers. Shout out to Adam. I don't necessarily have a ton of confidence in, whether someone goes for 34, 36, Simmons up to 38. It can happen, but I'm pretty happy with the way that I've got these guys projected out. So on FanDuel, I would say I like Embiid, then Simmons, then Harris, then Butler. Butler just simply too expensive now on FanDuel, and Ben Simmons at 8,900 just massively more interesting. So that would be the way that I would go on FanDuel. JJ Redick slotting in as a crisp fifth. And then on DraftKings, basically the same story. Embiid. Well, so Jimmy Butler at 7,200 is significantly more appealing on DK. So it's probably Embiid, Butler, Simmons, Harris for me. JJ Redick significantly more appealing at 5,200 on DraftKings. I think that he has a better shot there, at least for me. And then, if you're playing 150 lineups, feel free to play 2 lineups with Boban in it at the flat minimum. There are worse options. He should, if he's going to play backup center, and at least against the Lakers with JaVale and Tyson Chandler, Boban could see a couple minutes. I'd be fine going to him at 3K on DK, but this is a 1 out of 20 at best, as far as I'm concerned. But Embiid, I think, is the clear piece at the top. Simmons' $8,900 price tag is the second best thing that I see, depending on site. And then on Yahoo, it's Embiid and flip a coin between the other 3 guys. It doesn't make me comfortable. On the Lakers side, we've got LeBron at 10.8 on FanDuel, 10.8 on DK, $51 on Yahoo. I mean, 10.8 LeBron on FanDuel is really hard to pass up. It's just an absolutely phenomenal spot for him at that price tag, at that position. So I want to have a lot of LeBron. Similarly, this is a 5-man team in terms of DFS. LeBron, Ingram, Kuzma, JaVale, Rondo. Those are the guys that I want the most. I don't really have much of a preference on these guys on FanDuel. I like them all aggressively. I assume JaVale sees some extra minutes just because of Embiid. So, they're going to need a lot of minutes out of the Embiid, or out of the McGee, Tyson Chandler duo. So I'm okay there. Word you said, forgot about Bullock. I did not forget about him. I have him in for 20 minutes right now. On DraftKings, I think he's worth a flyer because he's the flat minimum. I have no interest in him on FanDuel. But unless you think that he gets a lot more minutes, I don't really have a ton of interest other than a flyer on Bullock. He's just not that kind of guy. He's like the 12th option on the Lakers or something like that. Yeah, Muscala in for 17 minutes. Again, it's not totally for me. The little bits are fine. I can't. It's hard for me to recommend any of these guys. I just don't see them getting enough minutes. I don't know where they come from unless Kuzma takes a really big haircut. But Tobias Harris will abuse Mike Muscala. On DK, Kyle Kuzma is my favorite here at 5,500. Ingram a close second at 54. JaVale looks fantastic at 47. I think that's a really nice spot to be able to get some value. And then after that, flip a coin on LeBron and Rondo. The 10.8 tag on DraftKings is pretty tough for me. If I could pay 10.3 for Embiid on DK, I would rather do that. So that's where I'm at for this game. We'll head to Sacramento, and the Sacramento Kings are hosting the Phoenix Suns. 118 implied total for the Kings, 109 for the Suns. The assumption is that Devin Booker is playing today. I believe that he is now listed as probable. Another fun fantasy game. Now, this is part of the main slate, so I'm a little bit more comfortable talking about these games in comparison to each other. 2-game slates are hard. So on the Sacktown side, it's basically a 5-horse race here. Fox, Heald, Bagley, Willie Cauley-Stein, Harrison Barnes. Willie Cauley-Stein has been pretty rough lately, but all the rates point to, solid data. I'm going to stick with him at least a little bit. If we're talking FanDuel, I like Buddy Hield at 6,600. But a lot of these guys are just packed together. Harrison Barnes at 5,500 on FanDuel and 5,100 on DraftKings. You need to look there. If he's going to continue to get big minutes, taking advantage of a Phoenix Suns team that has a very porous defense seems like a good spot. Fox is just Fox. 7,700 on FanDuel looks nice. 7,300 on DraftKings, a little bit less appealing. He looks okay on Yahoo. He and Willie Cauley-Stein are probably my two favorites there. Heald 6,600 on both sites. I prefer him on FanDuel. All these guys are just priced better on FanDuel except for Bogdan. And right now I don't necessarily see Bogdan being able to get a ton of minutes. If Burks is set for 14, Yogi Ferrell set for 16, there's just not a lot going around. So Bogdan I think is going to get a little bit more pinched. Burks ended up getting a little bit more run than I expected, but not because of Bogdan. Other guys saw a little bit less run. Guy I like the most here, though, would be Barnes for 5,100 on DraftKings, and I assume that he goes pretty overlooked. Bagley looks okay, 6,300 and 6K, no issues going there. I'm pretty balanced on most of Sacramento, so just getting the guys that are less owned is going to be my priority. Let's see if we have any ownership yet. I assume we don't. I assume Tom's sleeping. Nope, 9:43. 5 minutes ago. So shout out, Tom. Thank you for cranking out ownership for me. Let's grab that and dump it in here, and we'll take a look and see who we want to rank against each other. DraftKings and FanDuel. There we go. Did I not paste FanDuel? This game not in the FanDuel? Is FanDuel's main slate just 2 games? Is that what's happening here? Yeah, hit the like button, fellas. I agree. FanDuel, you jerks. Okay. I didn't realize it. Oh, God, that's the worst. Okay, so then if we're talking about this from a DK perspective, I would rather go a little bit heavier on... Wow, Bogdan at 34% ownership. Where do they see those minutes coming from? We'll take a look at Sacramento. I'll show what I did. So 32 minutes to De'Aaron Fox at point guard, 16 to Yogi Ferrell backing him up. Buddy Hield going to get 34 minutes just like he did. I think Harrison Barnes plays 36 minutes. I think Marvin Bagley plays 28 minutes. All of these things seem fine. So there needs to be a haircut somewhere. It's either going to be Bjelica gets no run and all of that additional run goes to Bogdan. Certainly possible. But I only have Bjelica in for 12 minutes. He played 11 in the last game. And then the center rotation won't have any impact. So I have Bogdan in for 24 minutes. And I'm not entirely sure where to get him any additional run. So if he's 30% owned, I'm very surprised by that. The price is really good. I just don't know where to... We have this group of Bjelica, Alec Burks, and Bogdanovich, where I'm not entirely sure where the run is going to come from. So, if you're confident that he gets 30 minutes, then that price tag looks fantastic. He got 34 in the last game. But we also only got 20 minutes out of Marvin Bagley and 24 minutes out of Willie Cauley-Stein. So I'm not entirely sure where those minutes are going to come from. It's something that I'll dig into a little bit further, but for right now, I'm avoiding him. Question in Premium Slack. How do I feel about Fox only playing 30 minutes in a close game when he usually plays 33 to 35? I'm not worried about it. I've got him in for 32 right now. They're not going to suddenly... Well, they might work it back a little bit, but I don't see him getting like under 30 minutes anytime soon. I agree that Bielitsa's minutes are going to drop, Brandon, but I only have him in for 12 right now. I don't, can you take more? Can I take 6 from Bielitsa here and give them to Bogdan and get you to 30? Absolutely, but I haven't seen it in practice yet, so I'm not entirely sure how to deal with it. Yeah, I see no reason that if this game is close that De'Aaron Fox doesn't play 34 or 35 minutes. On the Phoenix side, DeAndre Ayton, 7,600 on FanDuel, 6,900 on DK, $28 on Yahoo. Just another center with a fantastic price. I like him more on DK at 69 than I do at 76 on FanDuel, but I love him either way. So do the ownership projections. Devin Booker, 84. Yeah, Bielitsa plays until the 7-minute TV timeout of both halves, and that's it. So there you go. I've got him in for 12 minutes. That's basically you're telling me to go to 10. So that puts Bogdanovic at 26 instead of 12. Even if I make that switch, I don't see how Bogdanovic gets much higher than that. So I'll enter that in right now. He's still if he's owned at 34%, I like him at like 4 or 5. So I'll pass there. Booker 8,400 on FanDuel, 85 on DK, 37 on Yahoo. I'm gonna avoid that $37 Yahoo tag. I think the $8,400 price tag on FanDuel is fantastic. I've got him in for 36 minutes. I will happily go that direction. On DK, he's at 30% ownership. 8,500 is a lot. I think that you can probably more efficiently spend that money. And then we got that trio of Oubre, Josh Jackson, Mikkel Bridges. I like Oubre and Bridges quite a bit on FanDuel. Josh Jackson at 7K now with Booker back is not something that I want to do. On DK, Oubre at 5,900, super chalky, but completely reasonable. Mikkel Bridges for 4,700 I think is reasonable. He's only at 8%. And then again, Josh Jackson, 6,200 with Booker back. He's just not a guy that I'm looking for. Tyler Johnson, I've got him in for 26 minutes now, 4,500 on FanDuel, 4,400 on DK. Worth a flyer, but nothing crazy. So from the Phoenix side, Ayton is my guy. Booker, Oubre, and Bridges would be the guys that I would prioritize from Phoenix. On the DK side, it's mostly just Ayton, Booker, and Oubre. A little bit of Bridges is fine. And on Yahoo, Ayton and Oubre would be the major priorities for me. Alrighty, 2 games left. Let's keep it moving. The Atlanta Hawks hosting the Orlando Magic. 110.25 implied total for the Hawks. 112.75 for the Magic. So 2.5 favorites in Atlanta. Congrats to Orlando here. Not a great spot for Atlanta. Relatively pace neutral. Magic's defense has been fantastic over the last month and a half. So we'll start on the Atlanta side, and I really don't have a ton of interest in these guys, and they are garnering a lot of ownership. Collins, Young, Dedmon, Prince, Herder, all in double digits. I would probably end up being under the field on everybody except for Taurean Prince. On FanDuel, I just don't see getting to an overwhelming majority of these guys. I don't even really have much of a preference here. I think Trey Young looks probably best on both sites, 7,500 and 6,800. John Collins is always, consistent, but I don't like a lot of this. I mean, we've got Jeremy Lin and Kent Bazemore in high ownership on FanDuel, obviously with the idea of dropping them, but I will not have a ton coming from the Atlanta side. I'm only playing DK today, so just speaking to that, I won't be with the John Collins chalk. I'll have probably half the field of Trey Young. I'll have half the field of Dedmon, Prince, Herder. This side's just not for me. Healthy Lifestyle Secret Sauce. It's not a 2-game slate on DK. DK, it's a 3-game main slate. On the Orlando side, though, oh boy, some of this is tasty, including the guy in the thumbnail for this video. So Orlando, nice pace-up spot. Atlanta's defense is absolutely dreadful, giving up fantasy points on a per-possession basis, 7% more than average, one of the worst in the league, if not the worst. I'll actually take a look. Yep, dead last. So really advantageous matchup here for Orlando. I've got Vooch in for 34 minutes, and I've got him set to smash. 9,600 on FanDuel, 9,500 on DK. $40 on Yahoo. He's probably my favorite play across every site. Just absolutely fantastic spot. Feel free to get all of your Vooch. I could not like it anymore. Just fantastic. Aaron Gordon, 7,100 on FanDuel, 6,700 on DK, $28 on Yahoo. Totally in here as well. He and Jonathan Isaac both grading out fantastic on FanDuel and DK. They're also getting a bunch of ownership, but I see no reason to avoid anything at the top end of Orlando. From there, we go to Fournier and Ross. Fournier and Ross are both equally popular on FanDuel. I prefer Fournier to Ross in this case. On DraftKings, where Ross is 5,300 and Fournier is 5K, I greatly prefer Fournier. The difference is he's getting 2-to-1 ownership on DraftKings. So I can see, being a little bit closer there, but I have Fournier grading out really well here, which always concerns me, but it's just a really nice spot. And then finally, we've got DJ Augustine, 5K on FanDuel, 45 on DK, 11 on Yahoo. Oh, at the end, I'm going to hit a summary of these 3 games for the DK peeps, just to actually put everything into context. Not totally in agreement with the heavy chalk. On FanDuel, I get it because it's the 2-gamer, but on DK, 29% for Augustine is a little bit more than I would like to. Anyway, it's not going to get much better than the Orlando side. Vooch, Gordon, and Isaac in particular. Well, Vooch, Gordon, Isaac, and Fournier for me. Fantastic. Would I play Ross and Fournier together? Yeah, of course. It's a 3-game slate. I'm not making those sorts of decisions. Not for guys that are in the 5K range. I don't have a problem with it at all. Let's close it out. The Golden State Warriors hosting the Miami Heat. How many people we got? 314. I'll take it. Shout out to everybody joining me on a Sunday morning. All right. Warriors 117.5 implied total. Heat 103.5. 14-point favorites for the Warriors. Warriors defense has been fantastic. They are really kicking it into high gear, limiting fantasy points on a per possession basis by 7%, best in the league over the last 15 games. They are rounding into form. It's a pace down spot for Golden State, but they're still expected to put up a ton of points. 3rd highest total of the entire day. Durant, Curry, Cousins, Clay, and Draymond. I'm just going to mention all 5 guys at once. They bounce around between which side I prefer. Durant, I love on FanDuel, 9,700. I'm okay with it on DK at 9,100, but he's a little highly owned. Curry, I like quite a bit. These guys are massive chalk on FanDuel in this 2-gamer. If I'm ranking the guys on FanDuel, it would be Durant, Cousins, Draymond, Curry, then Clay. If I'm ranking them on DraftKings, it would be Cousins at 6,800, Cousins, Draymond, Clay, Durant, and then Curry would be last for me. On Yahoo, Cousins at 25 is probably my favorite, and then whatever you can work in from the other four guys, they're all pretty equal to me. I mean, I certainly am going to have quite a bit of this Warriors side. Golden State Warriors opponents have been faring very well of late. Not on a per possession basis. That is not accurate. Warriors have been the best fantasy defense over each team's last 15 games. Now, it says nothing about volume, but on a per possession basis, they've been fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to end up having a lot of DeMarcus Cousins here. I think he plays 26 minutes. I think he has a really nice opportunity to beast here. On the Miami side, a little bit of a pace-up spot, but they do have the lowest implied total on the entire slate, all 5 games. On the main slate, even more aggressive. So we've got Whiteside at 8,400, 7,100 on DraftKings, $30 on Yahoo. I don't love this spot. You're going to need all 30 minutes from Whiteside in this particular one. It's not that he couldn't have a big game here, but it's a really difficult spot for Whiteside. I'd be more likely to take the flyer on Bam on the chances that he gets more minutes, but I don't really like it. After that, I'd say that Richardson, Winslow, and James Johnson are the guys that I like most from FanDuel. On DK, same guys, Richardson, Winslow, and James Johnson. This strikes me as more of a James Johnson game. We shall see. I mean, basically everyone that plays for Miami is in play in some sort of way on a short slate like this. I would try to avoid the heavy chalk where I can. We have Waiters projected for 22% ownership, Wade at 5, and I understand why, but that could be a little place to like offload some ownership. I'm gonna have a real difficult time on like loading up on Miami. I would really prefer to just simply use a guy or two across the board, but no one really stands out as just downright phenomenal. Whiteside, Richardson, Winslow, Johnson are the 4 that I would start with, and then Waiters on DK I think would be another guy that I would have a nice focus on, but I would rotate through most of these guys because I think that someone will catch, but it's really hard to tell you how. Yeah, Waiters sucks. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan either. So that's a quick lap through every game. If I'm talking about the guys that I like the most on DraftKings, for me it's Vooch, DeAndre Ayton. I have Vooch slightly ahead of Ayton. Fournier, Kelly Oubre, Harrison Barnes, John Isaac, Aaron Gordon. Those are the directions I would want to go the most. As for value, we'd be looking at. Actually, let's do this. Delete you and you. So on DraftKings, now I can give an actual answer. Guys I like the most on DraftKings in order: Vooch, Ayton, Fournier, Oubre, Barnes, Isaac, Gordon, Hield. Hield being the guy that I think you can get the most leverage on the field with. If you're looking for pay down options, Augustine at 4,500, James Johnson at 3,800. That's where I'm at. On FanDuel, God, with these split slates, it's hard. So I'm just going to read these guys off, just overall. Vooch, Lebron, Embiid, Ayton, Simmons, Nurkic, Kuzma, Ingram, Gordon. This column is telling you sort of my order of preference. Each slate is different, and it's hard for me to really dive in. If we're looking from a value perspective, cheaper guys, JaVale at 5,500, Ingram at 57, Kuzma at 56. Not a ton in the really bottom end. James Johnson, 42. If you need to get into somebody in the threes, I mean, you might be looking at flat min. Rodney Magruder is probably the best bet. Maybe some Harry Giles, KCP if you think he plays. Rashawn Holmes if you're not going heavy on Ayton. That's where we're at. I don't have a ton to talk about. Just wanted to take a quick rip through, let everybody know where I'm standing. What other value under 5K on DK other than the Miami players? Let's find out. Under 5K. So less than or equal to 4,900. Non-Miami guys. So I would rank these guys, the under 5K DraftKings plays would be Augustine, Mikkel Bridges, Taurean Prince, Dwayne Dedmon, Dion Waiters is on the Heat, so never mind, Kevin Herter. So Augustine, Bridges, Prince, Dedmon, Herter will be where I would say the value would be for me.